Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are going through the book of Numbers right now, and just if you have just joined us here in these past couple episodes, my goal is to teach through the Bible, verse by verse, and through different books of the Bible. And we're working through our way through Numbers right now. On Sundays, I separate off and I go through the book of Psalms. It breaks it up a bit by me doing that. These episodes are also helpful for you if you are teaching a class or need a Bible study help or something like that. You're welcome to go back to old episodes, and you can look on the show notes, I think it is, on the bottom of YouTube there, to see all the different books of the Bible I've already taught through. And then you can go back through, and let's say you're talking on Exodus 20. Well, I've spent quite a few episodes talking on episode 20 or Exodus 20, so you can go back there and look at that. And if you're reading through the Bible, you don't understand it, or you're teaching through the Bible and need help on teaching it, you can do that. You're welcome to it. It's here for you to use. So anyway, that's my purpose in doing the regular dude walking in the Word, and also I'm trying to teach in a really down to earth fashion to make it simple so that almost anybody can understand it. Not some theologian that's been in seminary for 4 years, but someone that's just like in high school or junior high or whatever, and just make it really basic for them. Today we're looking at Numbers at chapter 15. We're going to be actually going through chapter 15 in about 5 episodes here. When I first looked at chapter 15, I'm like, wow, it's got a lot. It's talking a lot about the sacrifices and all that. I'm like, well, we talked about those sacrifices already, but there's some finer points to this, and so this is not something to skip over. And we're also actually talking about sin and giving and all kinds of things in this chapter. But so today it's entitled, God Has the Same Standards for All People. This is important because today the world operates at different standards. And it was just yesterday, the Supreme Court struck down the standards or struck down the ruling or the rules that you could have different standards for a college admission, okay, based on your race, and they said, well, no, that's not fair to do that. So, and we've done it with many other things, with the race and age and all kinds of things. Well, God he's dealing with sin here, okay, and he's dealing with the sacrifices to cover those sins, and he's saying it's the same for all people, for the native born and also the foreigner. You don't have different standards, and you don't go, oh yeah, it's this way for you and this way for you. We were recently in Guatemala, and we went to a fort, actually, an old fort, and they charged admission. Well, the admission was like, I think 20 quetzales for the native born, but then they charged 75 for the for us. No, it was like 750, I think, something crazy. They charged a whole lot more, like not triple the price, quadruple the price for the foreigner. All right, so different standards there, and it kind of made me mad. Like, oh, I'm a person just like they're a person coming through. Why do you treat them differently than me? Okay, and it happens all around in our society. But God's point here is when you're dealing with sin, it's the same. Don't be goofing around in creating different standards here. So let's read here today. This is taken from Numbers chapter 15, 1 through 16. It says this: The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say to them, after you enter the land I'm giving you as a home, and you present to the Lord food offerings from the herd or the flock as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, whether burnt offerings or sacrifices for special vows or freewill offerings or festival offerings, then the person who brings an offering shall present to the Lord a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with 1/4 of hin of olive oil, which each lamb for the burnt offering or the sacrifice, prepare a quarter of hin of wine as a drink offering. With a ram, prepare a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with a third of hin of olive oil, and a third of hin of wine as a drink offering. Offer it as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. When you prepare a young bull as a burnt offering or sacrifice for a special vow or a fellowship offering to the Lord, bring with the bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with half a hin of olive oil, and bring a half a hin of wine as a drink offering. This will be a food offering and an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Each bull or ram, each lamb or young goat is to be prepared in this manner. Do this for each one, for as many as you prepare. Verse 13, everyone who is native born must do these things in this way when they present a food offering as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. For generations to come, whenever a foreigner or anyone else living among you presents a food offering as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, they must do exactly as you do. The community is to have the same rules for you and for the foreigner residing among you. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. You and the foreigner shall be the same before the Lord. Get that? You and the foreigner shall be the same before the Lord. No difference. The same laws and regulations will apply both to you and to the foreigner residing among you. So, God has the same standards for all people. I'll read that last verse again, verse 16. That says, the same laws and regulations will apply both to you and to the foreigner residing among you. Same standard, and God has that same standard. And the standards are this, in case you didn't know what the standards are. We are born with a sinful nature. We're born with sin. We have sin. And all you can't say, oh, yeah, I wasn't born with sin. Yeah, we all have that. That's a standard. We're all born with that sinful nature. We're all born from Adam and Eve. So we have that sinful nature. We need to get rid of that sin in order to have a relationship with God. And the only way that can happen is through Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is the only way for that sin to be removed and then allow fellowship between me and God. That's the only way. So it's the same standard. You're not going to find some other standard, a goofy standard of I can't even name all the crazy things. But there's no other standard. This is the standard with that. And so it's the same standard for the foreigner and for the native born. God requires the same standard. Nothing different. All right. So if you have other questions about what those standards are, well, keep on listening because eventually I'll be talking about it. Hey, thanks for watching. I am a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Numbers. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.